Arsenio Lacson is one of that handful of Filipinos, sometimes referred to as the greatest presidents we never had. He was the swashbuckling mayor of Manila when he died of a heart attack in 1962. He was just 49 years old. Had he survived, he might have given Ferdinand Marcos a run for his money in 1965. Fast forward about 50 years, and Jun Brioso, a lawyer in a bank in Saudi Arabia, is inspired to write a biography of the mayor. He wasn't contacted and wasn't hired by the family, which is against the norm for Philippine biographies. His work won the National Book Award in 2016, prompting an early reprint this year. How and why does a bank lawyer write an uncommissioned political biography? And how did Lacson prefigure the two mayors who did make it to Malacanang, Joseph Estrada and Rodrigo Duterte? Jun Brioso, thank you very much for this chance to talk about your book.
Yeah, welcome.
So, you are not an historian?
No.
You're not a biographer, at least you weren't yet.
No.
You're in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And on one of your visits here for vacation, you bump into the mayor. Tell us about that meeting and how that led to the book.
Actually, before I went to Saudi Arabia, it was in 2007, we were walking, my wife and kids and me, were walking along Baywalk at the time. Maganda pa yung Baywalk eh. So suddenly, just in front of Aristocrat, there was this huge statue. He was seated and reading newspaper. And then on reading the description there of the statue, it says, Arsenio H. Lacson, makulay na alkalde ng Maynila, diarista, kongresista, atleta. So I was intrigued, sabi ko.
Did you know of Arsenio Lacson before that?
I might have encountered this name in the newspaper, pero it never registered on my mind during that time. So sabi ko sa wife ko and my kids, okay, stand before the statue, I will take your picture. So I did that, and then that was it. Afterwards, I completely forgot about it, and then fast forward in 2012, I went to Saudi in 2008. So 2012, I was in the office with plenty of spare time to do, kasi nga, no stress sa Saudi. So I was trying to find a subject for my blog because I was having this blogging of things or subjects. So on my browsing the internet, suddenly, I came across Arsenio Lacson. So ito yung nakita ko sa Baywalk. So chinek ko yung Wikipedia. Oh, may article. The good man with a bad mouth. So binasa ko, ba maganda. And then I browsed through the old American newspapers. Google, meron doon. So may mga articles. So I kept on searching and searching. So after 2 days, I was ready with the materials.
For your blog?
For my blog. And then, on the third day, I wrote the blog. So parang I don't know, parang sa akin ba is, maybe I should write an extended article on this. Or maybe a book, even a short book. So that was March. So May, I had my annual vacation. So pagdating ko sa Manila, punta kagad ako sa National Library, yung mga old newspapers. Then I found marami siyang yung sa Liberty News. This was in 1948, circa 1948. Tapos Star Reporter, circa 1949, 50. So may column siya. Ang dami. So with my digital camera, paano yung ko? Picture. So minsan umuwi ako 7:45 in the evening, ako nalang mag-isa. Just to get the images. So I did that for siguro close to 2 weeks. Ganun lang.
So doon napunta yung vacation mo?
Doon napunta. And nalulungkot nga yung wife ko tsaka yung... And then so after May, balik na ako ng Saudi. Kompleto na yung yung material. So I was thinking maybe by December, ready na yung manuscript. So I can have it self-published. Kasi I was having a hard time looking for a publisher. So December, bago mag-December, nag-create pala ako ng Mayor Arsenio Lacson Facebook page. So, nagpo-post ako ng mga blogs doon, pictures. So, before December, a message was posted on the FB page. Sabi niya, I am the grandson of Arsenio Lacson, my lolo, and my mom, Millie Lacson, has some materials, two boxes of materials about my lolo. So, the first thing that came to my mind is, parang bluff yata ito ah. Kasi yung name niya is reverse. Rico Severino, reverse, Onir Rebes. So, several days after, why not if I reply? No harm. So I replied and then sabi niya, here's the email address of my mom. So I sent a message to the email address. Soon enough, Millie and I were trading emails. Sabi niya, when will you be back here? Sabi ko, May pa ho, next year, 2013. All right. See to it that we meet when you have your vacation here. So fast forward May, nakipag-chat ako sa kanila, punta ako sa bahay nila sa Merville. Andun si Millie, si Bingo Lacson, she was still alive then. Tapos yung anak ni Millie, panganay, si Arsenio Bunny Lacson Severino. So there, we discussed, and then that's it. O sige, sabi niya, we'll finalize the agreement para we can start, and then you can have the materials from here. Yung manuscript ko is siguro mga 2/3 na eh. So, nung in-stop ko nung December. So, that's how it came about yung...
For the Lacson biography, what was the hardest part for you?
In terms of...
writing it.
Writing it, the research talaga. I mean, before meeting the Lacsons, I was on my own. Talagang I need to go to the National Library. Kung walang available doon, I would go to UST Library.
I think what's interesting, one of the interesting things about your project is that most biographies in this country are commissioned by the families.
Yes.
And they usually hire a writer to do it.
Yes.
You just did it on your own.
Yes, I did.
Did you regret that during the process and tell yourself, what did I get myself into? Because usually the family would provide you not just a fee,
yes,
but also all of the material.
Yes. Not really. Kasi ako naman is, what I wanted is really to write and write. Up to now, I want to write. So, siguro, ang habol ko lang naman is, kumbaga, my work gets published. That's all. Yung financial reward, siguro, kung may dumating, why not? Pero kung wala, it's okay.
So let's talk about Lacson, the man. What, as you researched him, what stories stood out for you that describe what kind of a man he was?
Stories, yung first stories that easily comes to my mind is he had a heart for the marginalized, the poor. So back in 1950s, maraming squatters sa Manila because after the war, marami nagpuntahan sa Manila. So there were too many squatters in Manila. So si Lacson, he wanted to drive them out, and he did. He filed cases against them. Now, when finally he won the cases and the ejectment was about to start, sabi niya, all right, proceed. So he was able to eject all the squatters. And then after the ejectment, he was in his office, he went inside the bathroom, and then he cried. So here was a man, kumbaga, very tough, very fiery. He wants public service. All he wanted to do was public service. Yet, deep in his heart, he had this compassion for the poor. Sabi niya, kaya lang, his hands were tied.
You mentioned he was fiery. What is the title of the paper that you saw? Good Man with a Bad Mouth.
Yeah. Good Man with a Bad Mouth. That was from Wikipedia.
So reading the biography that you wrote, one of the stories that popped out for me was a couple of encounters with Ferdinand Marcos.
Yes.
In one encounter, they happened to be in Congress at the same time.
Exactly.
and debating a point, and Marcos apparently was using his finger.
Yes, yes.
And Lacson told the speaker, please give me protection from this man.
I need protection from the chair.
Why was that?
Because Marcos was doing the gesture like this. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. And then Lacson interrupted. Mr. Speaker, I need protection from the chair. And the speaker, Speaker Perez, was, what protection do you need from the chair? Because I'm reminded of nalundasan. Because Mr. Marcos, whenever he does this gesture, he is, he might shot me, he might shoot me. So, and then suddenly, Marcos, curse, PI. And then the mic was on, then everybody in the gallery was laughing.
Several years later, President Magsaysay had died.
Yes.
And Marcos proposed to Lacson a dream ticket,
Yes, yes.
two of them. And Lacson's response was, no way will I help you become president.
Yes, over my dead body. He said that.
That turned out to be prophetic,
Yeah.
because by 1962, he had gone. How dramatic was his death?
How dramatic?
Dramatic.
Dramatic? The nation was stunned when news went around that he had died. Kasi nga, he was very strong. And previous to his death, just a week before his death, he had this insurance, life insurance, and he underwent a medical examination. Nothing came on the results about him having a heart disease. So when it happened, so suddenly, the nation, I mean, the people, his friends, foes, and family, they were stunned. Bakit nangyari? So, people came in droves to their house just to verify. Kasi nga, parang surreal.
And there was a mystery to it because he died alone in a hotel room.
Yes, yes.
Or maybe not alone.
That was the rumor.
You actually addressed that rumor toward the end of the book.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that ever going to be resolved?
That is tough to answer. Kasi maybe, because I'm planning to come out with another book about Lacson, because the manuscript which I submitted to Millie and the publisher, it was about 1,700 pages. So a substantial portion was taken out. So I am planning, and I even told Millie, sabi ko kay Millie, I will publish by myself, self-publish, the entire 1,700 pages. Sabi ko, kahit meron na. Sabi niya, it's up to you. What about Anvil? Sige, sabi ni, at that time, Karina Bolasco was the publishing manager. Sabi raw ni Karina, it's okay, go ahead. Kung gusto ko.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's my expense. So, I'm planning to come out with that book sometime later, siguro. And then, all the stories that were excluded, tsaka yung unresolved, siguro, if you may call it that way, they will appear there in the book. Maybe.
President Estrada seems to look up to Mayor Lacson. And he put a statue of Mayor Lacson right in front of City Hall, looking like the cover of the book, actually. But that's not the only monument to Mayor Lacson, right?
The first monument, it now stands in Plaza, at that time it was called Plaza Goiti. During Mayor Atienza's time, it was renamed Plaza Lacson. It was the first monument. It was erected or put there in mid-1980s. What Atienza did was to change the base of the statue. So, kasi mataas yung noon pag ganun parang. So now, straight na lang, tapos mas mababa. So that was the first monument, and the plaza was renamed Plaza Lacson. Then the next one, yung Yung monument na yun is actually parang based din yun sa cover ng book eh. Kaya lang yung the way it was carved yung yung carving ng monument is hindi ganun ka faithful reproduction of the actual Lacson. So the next one was put up by Atienza doon sa Baywalk. It was Atienza who made that possible. And then Lacson was seated on a bench reading a newspaper.
I started out by saying that Arsenio Lacson is one of those men who is referred to as the greatest president we never had. There's a handful of those men in our history. If you look at our presidents, he's one of the few mayors who seem to have a shot at the presidency.
Yes.
He didn't make it.
Yes.
Two others did.
Yes.
President Estrada and President Duterte. When I look at them, I see they're all bigger than life figures.
Yeah.
Lacson was also a media man on the side, so he used the media and benefited from that. Estrada is obviously a creature of the media, being a film star, and Duterte, a creature of the news media and also social media. And then you have their bigger than life personalities. Are they the same kind of leader?
In a way, but Duterte, Lacson stood out among these two. Kasi si Lacson is yung genuineness to serve public service, nandun talaga. Kahit mamatay siya, he was his family, his surviving family was practically penniless. So he never enriched himself during his during his term of office, and he was a man of action, and then he never got into any hanky-panky during his term. Talagang pure public service, to the extent that members of his family were excluded from the limelight. They were prevented from benefiting yung perks of the mayor's office. Unlike kay Erap or Duterte, Erap, family niya nasa politics, si JB, si Jinggoy, even the wife, Dr. Loy Estrada. Si Duterte, ganun din. His children, si Sara, Paolo, nasa politics din. So, malaki yung difference eh. Tapos si Duterte, masyadong extreme kasi nga, even to the extent of killing persons, he would do it. Lacson was not like that. Talagang sa kanya, pure public service and in accordance with law.
The hanky-panky that you do record in the book is affairs.
Yes.
Which even his wife said she knew about, right?
Yes.
What did his wife say when she was asked about him having affairs?
The wife said, I never married the bakla. So, she knew, and even Millie, the daughter, and the other daughters knew that Lacson was having some affairs. But at that time, ang sinasabi ni Millie is, nung mother niya is, hindi naman serious yung affairs na yun. So they just let them go. Okay lang yun. So, pero when he died, suddenly, meron silang nakitang photo sa newspaper. There was an infant being carried over the coffin. Sabi ni Millie, the daughter, that's not my son. Sabi ni Millie, sino yon? That's the time nalaman nila na meron palang affair si Lacson na nag-aanak siya. And this is Arsenio Lacson.
Who works in City Hall now.
City Hall, oo. So doon nila nalaman. So at that time, hindi matanggap ni Lucy Lacson, the wife. I never knew this, sabi niya. Hindi ko alam to. So, parang masakit. Siya, kamamatay lang ng asawa, tapos madidiscover. So after nung burial, so the family decided to reach out. Kasi nga, anak din ni Lacson. So eventually, as the child was growing, they invited the child to come over to the house, to the residence. So hanggang sa lumaki yung mga bata, the grandchildren of Lacson and his son Arsenic, parang they grew up together. Kaya ngayon, okay yung ano nila.
What does the family say about all the rumors and speculation about whom he was with when he died? Who else he may have fathered? Wala naman silang sinasabi. Basta sinasabi nila, even James Barbers, he's still alive. He's now in his 80s, early 80s. He was one of the bodyguards of Lacson. So sinasabi nila, rumors lang yan kasi at that time, maraming kalaban si Lacson sa politics. Even yung sinasabing kay Charito Solis, ang sinasabi ni Barbers, sabi niya is, marami siyang kalaban even to the extent na pati yung namatay daw siya, may kasama siyang babae, which is not true. Barber said that to me. Hindi totoo yun. Wala siyang kasama. Ang kasama lang niya is yung bodyguard na nandun sa labas, tapos yung room boy that came to the room kasi nga, Lacson was already having an attack. So, no truth to the rumor. Pati yung kay Imelda, it's in the book, wala rin. Sabi ni Millie sa akin, Millie Lacson, sabi niya, kaibigan ko si Imelda at that time. Kakilala ko siya. Kaya it's, sabi niya, parang it's not possible na magkakaroon ng relasyon si Papa dito kay Imelda. Kasi nga, friends din kami, although hindi kami talagang best friends. Pero kakilala ko, parang awkward naman yun. Sabi ni Millie. And yet, 50 years later,
the rumor
stories
persists. Yes, even the Charito Solis rumor persists. Siguro, urban legend.
June Brioso, we look forward to those books. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Welcome.
Thanks, June.
Thank you.